for them, but they are calling on overseas reinforcements, if I could put it like that. But it's the last
Team USA are in deep trouble in this match. In fact, the game is up for them, but they are calling on overseas reinforcements, if I could put it like that. For this, the last contest of the Transatlantic Clash Mark II, in the shape of Mandeep Jangra.
We don't actually have a contest for ring walk music selection of the night, but I'm going to nominate this as the winner. This is brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Look at him, man.
We don't actually have a contest for ring walk music selection of the night, but I'm going to nominate this as the winner.
Took him under his wing.
This is brilliant.
He lived at Roy's house, actually.
Absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Look at him, Mandeep Jangra. What a fighter this young kid is. What a backstory he's got as well. Roy Jones Jr. took him under his wing. He lived at Roy's house, actually. Roy saw something in him, and he's developed into an incredible young fighter.
And a great hand for one of the all-time greats, Roy Jones Jr.
Won, but it's still a hugely important night for Marley Mason. Marley Mason tries again at down round level. A very talented newcomer not so long ago. Now he's got plenty to prove. He's given us some very exciting
won, but it's still a hugely important night for Marley Mason. Marley Mason tries again at down round level. A very talented newcomer not so long ago. Now he's got plenty to prove. He's given us some very exciting fight nights. But that's only for us. For him, it's about winning. And he didn't win against Jeff Before. He lost against Louis O'Doherty and Aaron Prospero. And that is at least one defeat too many at this stage in his career. So big answers he must find tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to show a lot of character in there. Because Mandeep Jangra, he's got a little bit of everything. He can box at range, but you look at him, you think he's going to be a boxer, but he works so well on the inside as well. And like I said, he's been under the watchful eye of Roy Jones for some time, and Roy's really taught him all the tricks of the trade. He's developed very, very well.
The last of the five making up the Transatlantic Clash Mark II tonight. Mandeep Jangra has got a lot on his shoulders in terms of keeping it respectable on the scoreboard, but it is beyond rescue for Team USA.
The last of the five making up the Transatlantic Clash Mark II tonight.
Of course, still for Team UK, but
Mandeep Jangra has got a lot
of the match, Spencer,
on his shoulders in terms of keeping it respectable on the scoreboard, but it is beyond rescue for Team USA as we get going here at Super Feather. Marley Mason is fighting, of course, still for Team UK, but perhaps more now in the context of the match, Spencer. He's really fighting to put his career, his own career, back on course.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Paul. And he's really fancied this. He wanted this fight. Mandeep Jangra comes with a great reputation, and I think for Marley Mason, he was like, please give me that. It gives me an opportunity to get myself in a great spot. Mason starting well, taking the centre of the ring, just misses wildly there with a right hand, but it's a good confident start.
I always go back to the Echoles draw. It was
from
an
Mason.
absolute barnstormer for fight, by the way, but many people felt Mason was a bit lucky to get something out of it.
Overall, the slate is 8 fights, 5 wins, 1 by stoppage. The 2 defeats. I always go back to the Echoles draw. It was an absolute barnstormer for fight, by the way, but many people felt Mason was a bit lucky to get something out of it.
Cautiously just taking a look at his guy. He's a tough kid, Mason. He doesn't lose that will to win. He'll stick at it. He likes having a fight. He's very fan-friendly, TV-friendly, and I think we're going to see that tonight. As Jenga starts a little cautiously just taking a look at his guy. As expected, he'll just want to feel him out. I think that would have been the instructions of Roy Jones Jr. This kid can be dangerous, so just go out there, Mandeep, and take your time. Who's up on his toes, using the perimeter of the ring, but just trying to figure this young, strong Marley Mason out. Mason is what it says on the tin. He'll come forward. Good work behind the jab there from Jenga, who's up on his toes, using the perimeter of the ring, but just trying to figure this young, strong Marley Mason out. Mason is what it says on the tin. He'll come forward. He'll have a fight. He wants to do it in a phone box, but Jenga won't fall into that trap tonight.
Of Roy Jones has been spending quite long spells back in India between camps, apparently.
Hails from Sirsain and India, but now based in Cantonment,
the
Florida.
general view, I'm told,
pretty much the home turf of Roy Jones.
Is a major talent.
Has been spending quite long spells back in India between camps, apparently.
Do everything the right way. That's the vibe.
The general view, I'm told, by those close to Roy Jones is that he is a major talent, but you know, at 31 Spencer, he really has now got to knuckle down and do everything the right way. That's the vibe I've got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for Jenga, I think if he does get victory here, they've got to start looking at pushing him forward and taking that chance, rolling the dice a little bit and taking that opportunity against bigger, better opposition. But he's got to get through this one first.
Indeed, it won't be easy. But as we've said about many an Indian prospect over the last few years, the potential is limitless for a star fighter. Tidy start both ways.
Yeah, I think that Marley Mason would take a lot of confidence from that one. He went in there, he held himself well, took centre of the ring, forced Jenga onto the back foot. Jenga cuddles Roy Jones Jr. in the corner. He's very happy with that opening round, and he should be, because he done enough behind the jab. He was controlling the space well. There we see Mason getting through with some good shots and finding some success, but overall I think that Jenga maybe done enough to win that round, but Mason will be happy. Here we go, beginning of round 2. Jenga back on that jab straight away, using the perimeter of the ring. Awkward customer, slips and slides, very difficult to pin down. Just misses there with the left hook. Here we go, beginning of round 2. Jenga back on that jab straight away, using the perimeter of the ring. Awkward customer, slips and slides, very difficult to pin down. Just misses there with the left hook.
For those of us watching in colour television, to hark back a few decades as we stream nowadays, Spencer, live on Fight Zone and TalkSport. I'll just make a small differentiation because the potential for a colour clash with the blue gloves. We have Mandeep Jangra with the red gloves, Marley Mason, and in terms of the trunks, the
Mason having some good success
choreography of the black trunks with the little bit of the embroidery on the sides and NTIM on the front of the trunks is the differentiator for Marley Mason.
Mason having some good success there, getting in close. Jenga trying to keep it at range, trying to control that pace off that jab. Oh, you did have one, lucky you. By the way, you talked about colour TVs there. They still do black and white. Does that still exist? Exactly what you were talking about.
That's all I had when I was growing up.
Here we go, both guys here. Oh, you did have one, lucky you. This is going to be a good contest. warming up nicely.
Didn't work quite often, actually.
I like
You
it.
have to
They're both
bang
going
it
about
on
their
the top
business.
to make it work.
Vibe to it, I reckon,
Exactly what
Spencer,
you were
provided
talking
by
about.
the knowledge that the
Yeah, but here we go,
matches all
both guys
over.
here delivering very well. We knew this was going to be a good contest. Warming up nicely, isn't it, Paul?
I like it. They're both going about their business. A different vibe to it, I reckon, Spencer, provided by the knowledge that the match is all over.
Yep,
Mandeep
Jenga
is the
trying to win
taller
this one on the
5'10".
outside, trying to keep using range well. He's obviously done his homework because Marley Mason does love a tear up, that is for sure.
Take him into the trenches a little bit here.
Mandeep is the
Good
taller at
movement there,
5'10".
slipped the shot really well, looking to come back with the right hand of his own, and just sort of missed. But
Mason trying to rough him up,
with
trying
that real
to
intensity around
take
his
him
work
into the
at
trenches
moment.
a little bit here. Mandeep, good movement there, slipped the shot really well, looking to come back with the right hand of his own, and just sort of missed. But Mason, with that real intensity
Mandeep
around
again,
his work
looking
at
to
the
keep
moment.
that distance, complains of a low blow there. Mason will be happy about that because he's going to want to turn it into a dogfight, Paul, because I think that's the way that he wins this one. He can't beat him on skill, boxing IQ.
Mandeep again looking to keep that distance, complains of a low blow there.
But one thing
Mason will be happy about that because he's going to want to turn it into a dogfight, Paul, because I think that's the way that he wins this one. He can't beat him on skill, boxing IQ. You're going to have to lean towards Jenga, experience towards Jenga. But one thing Mason has got, he's got a big heart and he'll keep going, and he will try and draw him into a dogfight. That's where he likes to be.
Just winning those first 2 rounds, but he's not out of his depth
Looks like
here.
Mandeep Jangra well prepared for that.
Yeah, he would have done his homework there, as would have Roy Jones Jr. For me, Jenga just winning those first 2 rounds, but he's not out of his depth here. Mason, I think that was the main concern, the main worry with the class of Jenga just being a little too much, but Mason purely proving that he belongs in there. And there we see the chopping right hand that landed well there, walking forward, but there's a little bit of education around his work, Mason. He's not being too one-dimensional, and he is getting successes, and I think he'll be hoping that as the rounds go on, he will draw Jenga in and just wear him down.
That is the trophy that will be Spencer Oliver's property. Very shortly indeed. A magnificent work.
Team UK against Team USA.
And what a concept. I think it's absolutely coming of age already. Live on Talk Sport tonight at Fight Zone. Transatlantic Clash Mark 2.
Here at Stamford Bridge.
Team UK against Team USA. This is the 5th of the contests in the match. There's been other action on the card tonight as well here at Stamford Bridge. Marley Mason for Team UK from Southend-on-Sea. Needs a big show tonight in front of a London crowd for me.
Yeah, well, one thing you can guarantee with Mason is he'll give it everything, and he's doing that right now. He's trying, he's pushing forward. Mrs. Wildly there, though, he's got to be a little bit more creative than that. With Jenga, Jenga's just trying to control this behind the jab, keeping that distance, and he's doing that well. There's that chopping right hand, that's the success shot really for Mason. He wants to try and build on that, move his feet into range and then let his shots go, as opposed to trying to close the gap with his punches, because that's what happens.
Just break that down for us a little bit more, Spencer, if you would. I was about to ask you that very question from Mason's point of view. What is educated pressure and what's just closing the range?
Yeah, well, educated pressure is moving your feet before you let your hands go, because when you're boxing another fighter, you're looking eye to eye, so if you try and close the gap with your hands, your punches, your opponent can see that, but if you move your feet a split second before throwing your punches, it closes the gap and you're in range and the opponent doesn't see it.
Just moving them feet into
Shades of the Spencer Oliver about that. Spencer could fight that way for certain.
Between the two, but don't do it at the same
Yeah,
time.
that is important. That's how some fighters just don't know how to close that gap, and that's how you do it. Just moving them feet into range before letting the shots go, but it's a split second before you do that. Nothing between the two, but don't do it at the same time.
Just watching the early part of this fight tonight, I think very clearly that the Mason camp have been watching the tapes of Mandeep Stamford Bridge. And this right hand, he's been trying it all night long so far, Mason, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Just top of the left shoulder of Jangra, basically.
Yeah, sort of whipping that shot down, hasn't he? And he's sort of like, you know, he's done his homework here. Just a little shoulder roll, trying to push forward as well. He's just trying to, he just has to keep that persistent pressure on all the time, Mason, because if you let Jangra get into a rhythm, he's a very difficult guy to beat. And Corey McIntosh found that out last time when they boxed out in the Cayman Islands. It was a great contest, very competitive, but Jangra just dug deep and showed his class.
Body shot slams in
12.
Doing really well in this.
The WBF title was on the line. In the Lions Centre in Grand Cayman.
They are competitive. Roy Jones gets in the ring. He's very happy with himself.
Body shot slams in there from Mason, who's doing really well in this and being very competitive, but not sure he's actually winning these rounds, Paul. They are close, they are competitive. Roy Jones gets in the ring. He's very happy with himself. And he's very happy with Mandeep Jangra as well, as we look in the corner there of Marley Mason. And I've got to say, they look quite pleased as well, and this is some of the action in the round. Maybe again the key shot there, Jangra just shoulder rolling and coping with the pressure well, and there's that jab, that whipping jab, but Mason having his successes as well. Like I say, these rounds are very close, but maybe just edging them to the WBF World Champion
number 4,
Mandeep Jangra. But it's a great contest, this.
Free, but there's not a lot in it, and Mason will still be very happy with his performance so far.
Here we go, beginning of round number 4. Jangra may have stole those first 3, but there's not a lot in it, and Mason will still be very happy with his performance so far.
Behind that work. Don't just go in there and throw everything in the kitchen sink. It's too early for that. Let's try and be a little creative in there. A few feints to the body, switch your shots over the top.
That's where Mason needs to sort of add a little bit of education behind that work. Don't just go in there and throw everything in the kitchen sink. It's too early for that. Let's try and be a little creative in there. A few feints to the body, switch your shots over the top.
Good work.
Move your feet into range before letting your shots go.
Just read that shot so well. It's very elusive, very tricky, very difficult to pin down, Jangra.
Good work again there, defensive work from Jangra, wasn't it? Just read that shot so well. It's very elusive, very tricky, very difficult to pin down, Jangra.
The short shots, there's travelling 6 inches. The shoulder roll,
but in that little passage there, Spencer, this is where he looks a real good fighter, isn't it? When he makes sure he keeps himself in the space.
But see the way that he's working on the inside there, the short shots, there's travelling 6 inches. The shoulder roll, short shots. Who does that remind you of? A little younger Roy Jones Jr. The way he's done that, you can see shades of that there. When he does little moves like that, you can see that they work on repetition in the gym, day in, day out. And that was the way that Roy was taught as a young child. He was his dad trained him, and he had him working at bag rounds after round after round, and that's what creates champions. And you can see Roy's installed that into Jangra.
That was for the corner, actually, aimed right at Roy Jones. The way Stamford Bridge just moved out of the range very slightly there and made Marley miss. And that was like, thanks boss, I've got that one down now.
He's just trying to steal the soul. Mason just a little bit here. Mason getting frustrated. That's a sign of frustration. He's finding it very difficult to ping Jangra down, who's now slipping into a rhythm, Paul. And this is what I was talking about. The danger for Mason is that if Jangra gets into that rhythm, it's very difficult to break.
The problem is he's just not accurate enough. Often enough, Mason.
Very difficult.
Travelling to range, there again he misses. I don't think any of them were scoring shots, and he's putting in an awful lot of effort sometimes, Spencer, for not much reward.
Yeah, and you know, you have to feel for him there because he's in with a very slippery, very difficult opponent to beat him. Mandeep Jangra, 11 wins, 1 defeat, 7 of those wins by KO. He carries a little bit of weight in his hands as well. It's that unpredictability, the shots that you don't see coming from unusual angles. angles. And he's one of those guys, isn't he, that's very elusive and throws shots, weird lead uppercut shots, and they're the difficult ones to get past. Biggest round of the fight so far for me, Paul. This fourth round for Jenga.
Is it effective? But you know, his defensive
Spurred on by the home crowd, Mason gives it everything to the end of the round. Is it effective work? That is the big question.
Well, yeah, the $1 million question is it effective? But you know, his defensive skills are put in Jenga. That short work on the inside, the skills uppercuts are travelling 6 inches, followed by the whipping left hooks over the top. Listen, taking nothing away from Marley Mason, who's trying, he's pushing forward. You know, he's not showing any signs of frustration. He just keeps trying to work this slippery, elusive customer out, but just not landing at the moment.
Jenga responds, look, with that jab, and that's been the key shot for him. But look at how elusive he is. Very frustrating to fight a fighter like that.
Some of the good work there from Mason, but Jenga responds, look, with that jab, and that's been the key shot for him. But look at how elusive he is. Very frustrating to fight a fighter like that. As we now reach the halfway point in this contest, Jenga running away a bit on the scorecards, but doesn't really tell the story of this contest because Mason's played his part in a cracking little contest so far.
Jenga having none of it.
Scheduled 10-rounder.
Mason just asking Jenga to meet him in the centre of the ring. He's trying to draw him in, but Jenga having none of it.
Mason landed a beautiful chopping left hook over the top there.
Walter Jones in the corner there, he's very happy with himself.
Mandeep Jangra, that's for sure.
Well, there you go, that was a good, lovely left hook there. Jenga just switched off and Mason landed a beautiful chopping left hook over the top there, and that woke Mandeep Jangra up, that's for sure.
Mason just missing wildly with that right-handed game. I say wildly, it's just the elusive movements there from Jenga. Very slippery, very difficult to pin down.
Spencer, I think the problem at this stage in this fight, though, is that Mandeep Jangra
Mason just missing wildly with that right-handed game. I say wildly, it was just the elusive movements there from Jenga. Very slippery, very difficult to pin down.
Spencer, I think the problem at this stage in this fight, though, is that Mandeep Jangra
throwing big shots.
The belief that he's got the measure of Mason.
Yeah, he's oozing confidence.
He's oozing confidence, isn't he?
As he closes the range,
gives off that sense to Mason, look, I need to keep on throwing big shots, and it's not going to work like that because you've explained to our viewers on TalkSport and Fight Zone already there is a way as he closes the range to get the feet to do the work for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it is that having that technical ability to be able to do that, to adjust. Adaptability is key in fights like this. You've got to be able to adapt against someone as elusive as Mandeep Jangra, and at the moment it's all very samey from Marley Mason, who needs to mix it up. He needs to try and set some traps, do something different, because look, watch what he's doing here. He's closing the gap with his hands, not his feet, and that is the problem at this level.
Perhaps edges it in hand speed in addition to his other technical advantages.
Yeah, that is just the difference at the moment. The hand speed, the accuracy of Jenga, well behind the jab. He's not getting involved, he's not taking the bait.
Perhaps edges it in hand speed in addition to his other technical advantages.
Pushing on, he's making
that is just the difference at the moment. The hand speed, the accuracy of Jenga, well behind the jab. He's not getting involved, he's not taking the bait, trying to get into a fight. Mason, credit to him though, he keeps pushing on. He's making a great little contest of it.
He's not allowing Mandeep Jangra a single minute, a single second off to relax and showboat. So that's a strength for Mason.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, Mason is getting frustrated. He says something there. Roy Jones Jr. just laughs at him. But it's a good performance so far from Jangra, who's kept his composure so well. And maybe signs of frustration just creeping in there from Mason as he shouts at Roy Jones in the corner. And shouts at Mandeep Jangra as well, and I think he was probably like something like, stand another fight, mate, give me a chance. And there was one of those rare shots that landed. A lovely left hook switched off there from Jangra. Jangra switching off there, sorry, maybe lapse of concentration, just got into his comfort zone a little bit too much, and a little reminder from Mason saying, listen mate, don't take any liberties, I'm still here and I'm still trying to win.
So we're through the halfway point of this scheduled 10-rounder. It's the last of the 5 fights counting toward the transatlantic clash Mark II tonight here at Stamford Bridge. The match overall already won by Team UK in very stylish fashion.
So we're through the halfway point of this scheduled 10-rounder. It's the last of the 5 fights counting toward the transatlantic clash Mark II tonight here at Stamford Bridge. The match overall already won by Team UK in very stylish fashion, I may add.
Is representing Team USA.
Yeah, great performance by the boys, and they've all put in
fighting for his
tremendous performances. Win, lose or draw, and we're getting another great performance here from Marley Mason.
However, the stylist in this fight is representing Team USA, Mandeep Jangra, fighting for his own reputation, of course, in addition to trying to rescue a few points back for Team USA. And I think at the moment he's on course to do that, Spencer, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks like it so far, but I tell you something, Marley Mason won't give up. He knew it was going to be a frustrating night. Look at that little upcut there, he whipped that in there, Jenga. Sent the sweat spraying from Marley Mason's head there, but Mason back on his toes, trotting back in there. He wants a fight. He's like, come on son, sit there with me, let's have a tear up. The Jenga, I don't think he's going to take that.
He won't allow Mason to get off and see there. Mason trying to draw him in.
Good work off the ropes again there from Jenga. So difficult to pin down. He just doesn't stop for a second. He won't sit in the pocket. He won't allow Mason to get off and see there. Mason trying to draw him in, trying to do something. He wants to break the rhythm here of Jenga. And as I said, the cut the rounds go forward is always going to be difficult.
And I think it's got slightly overlooked just what a good amateur he was, but he took a medal all the way back.
What we're seeing here tonight are the fruits of a lot of labours by Mandeep Jangra
from memory.
Spencer from even before he turned professional, and I think it's gone slightly overlooked just what a good amateur he was, but he took a medal all the way back in 2013 at the Asian Boxing Championships. That was a silver from memory, that's a long time ago, and a gold medal at the South Asian Games in 2016. Those were 2 of the big moments. He fought in the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. That's what we're seeing here tonight, all that.
Yeah, amateur pedigree. He's not just developed as a professional, he's done the grounding, he's done the schooling. That's where the apprenticeship's done for these fighters. You know, he's been on the road, he's used to boxing in the other guy's backyard, so this is no strange environment for him right now. He's used to this as the referee takes him back to the corner just to give him a little telling off there.
Sort him out.
Marley Mason not happy about something there. He's saying to the referee, come on mate, get him there.
Decision made by the backers
sort him out.
Stamford Bridge to base himself in the USA, guided by Roy Jones.
Turn pro in the United States. That was the decision made by the backers of Mandeep Jangra to base himself in the USA, guided by Roy Jones.
He's going for it there, and I tell you what,
Best victory, I guess.
Character to stay and trade with Mason there, but that's where he wants him. And Mason like that. You see that bit of grit, that bit of dog in him.
It's getting a bit edgy, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going for it there, and I tell you what, Jenga's showing a bit of character to stay and trade with Mason there, but that's where he wants him, and Mason like that. You see that bit of grit, that bit of dog in him there. He's like, yeah, come on mate, let's have this tear up. He's another round there from Jenga. I'll tell you what, the scorecard, he's not really telling the score of the contest for me here, because I think that Jenga is winning all these rounds, Mason playing his part, but Jenga doing enough here, and they'll be very pleased in that corner.
Struggling to pin him down, but he'll take a lot of hope from that last 10-15 seconds there, where he let those shots go and he tried to jaw.
The difference between the two here is maybe Jenga's accuracy. Mason's struggling to pin him down, but he'll take a lot of hope from that last 10-15 seconds there, where he let those shots go and he tried to jaw Jenga in.
Good work there. Right hand landed. I told you Marley Mason was one of them kids that won't give up hope. He won't give up. He's got that desire, and he will fight until the final bell. Forget that he's behind the points. Don't ever write this kid off,
landed.
because he will keep going. You've got
I told you Marley Mason was one of them kids that won't give up hope. He won't give up. He's got that desire, and he will fight until the final bell. Forget that he's behind on points. Don't ever write this kid off, because he will keep going. You've got to give him credit for that. That's why I said fan-friendly, TV-friendly. We love him, win, lose or draw. You want to see him again.
And if he's going to lose, there's a way he's going to have to lose, if that makes any sense.
Yep, I think that's by going out on his shield.
Mason is really fighting for his future as a 10-12 round fighter for me tonight, Spencer. And if he's going to lose, there's a way he's going to have to lose, if that makes any sense.
Yep, I think that's by going out on his shield and really giving it something. I'll tell you what, Paul, he's doing that, but at the moment, Jenga is used to the distance. He's used to doing this. You know, I saw him back in November beating Corey McIntosh in similar sort of fashion. He was very difficult to pin down. Unfortunately for Marley Mason, this is going to be bad news, but he's done that over 12 rounds, and this is over 10.
Force the cut. Unlikely, because he's not accurate enough. Plan C. Could he suddenly hope that the tank empties?
So let's run down the possibilities list in terms of plans B, C, D and E. Well, let's start with plan B. Is there a possibility he could force a cut? Unlikely, because he's not accurate enough. Plan C. Could he suddenly hope that the tank empties for Mandeep Jangra? Unlikely, because he's not able to put the pressure on enough. So I'm down to plan D already.
Yeah, and that
D
is
for destroy. So land a big shot.
Yeah, and that's what
stay in the pocket, maybe look for an uppercut. Not seen that shot from him tonight.
Well, I think it's not from lack of trying. I just think it's Mandeep's elusiveness, switching from left to right and not sitting still. To see the way he slipped back there, little shots on the inside. There's much more to Mandeep's game than there looks, you know. Like this little slips and slides, like is very, very good. Look at that, beautiful, relaxed 1-2 to the body, left hook to the head. Then he's not in the pocket. Then he doesn't sit there to get hit. He's the one now starting to take over here, and this is now becoming tough for Marley Mason.
The unfortunate thing for Mason is that I've seen Jenga fight before, and he don't mind
all the moves, hasn't he?
He don't mind having a fight. He does that late on in the
Team
round
USA fighter here.
Right, you've blown a little gasket here, son.
Yes, he has.
I'm going to sit with you now. And
the unfortunate thing for Mason is that I've seen Jenga fight before, and he don't mind sitting in the pocket. He don't mind having a fight. And he does that late on in the rounds where he'll now think, right, you've blown a little gasket here, son. I'm going to sit with you now. And if you push a fighter like Mason on the back foot, a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10 anyway, you can steal their soul. And at that late stage of a fight, they lose heart, lose focus, lose concentration. And I think that's what Jenga is trying to do there. Jenga is trying to do there, because it looked like he was trying to turn the screw there, sit in the pocket and beat Mason at his own game. But another good round there for Mandeep Jangra.
Frustration come the end of his career for himself.
It's a very confident performance from him tonight.
That massive commercial possibility that must be
if he doesn't go to the next level, there'll be a tremendous amount of frustration come the end of his career for himself, for the people who brought him to this point, and that massive commercial possibility that must be behind an Indian fighter who gets up to 12-round championship level in America, Spencer.
Absolutely, and I think they're speaking to Dennis Hobson through the week. He said they've had those meetings over in India. They want to take him back in. The Indian government want to back him over there, and he's getting Roy Jones Jr. over there. UK versus India, doing a show over there. It's great for the country, great for tourism, and more importantly, great for Mandeep Jangra to go showcase his skills. Lovely uppercut there as well.
He's trying to do here now. But there's been a kind of situations vacant in terms of Indian boxing. All the really good amateurs that they produce, challenging for medals at every major tournament globally, who can actually walk through the door and build a substantial professional career at world level. Maybe this is the one.
Well, listen, Roy Jones Jr. is the guy in the corner, and he will help him try and guide him there. I know that Roy's invested in him, you know, that's what Roy does. He loves it, he speaks still things like a fighter, Roy, and he gives them that comfort, that experience. You can't buy that knowledge. And look at him, I'm just looking at Roy in the corner now. He's there, he's in the fight himself, you know, and that is important to know that your trainer has got you, you know, he's there, he's got your back. That's exactly the word, Paul.
Trick in his book.
Mason tumbled backwards.
Yeah,
He is totally frustrated. Good old Marley Mason. He's giving it both barrels. Every trick in his book.
Quite pinned down at the moment, but never say never.
It's a gallant performance from Mason, who's still, trust me, he's played his part in this contest, but he's just up against a slippery operator who he's quite pinned down at the moment. But never say never. Only round 8, we've still got 1 minute 30 to go off this round, so still time.
Have you got a plan E for me yet, Spencer?
But let's hope that Marley Mason's got the plan E, because it's no good being out here with me and you, that's for sure.
A, B, C, D have not worked.
To be fair, he'll keep coming, he'll keep giving it everything,
but he's a proper handful, isn't he, when he's on fire as he is tonight, Mandeep Jangra?
Yeah, he is. He certainly is, and Marley Mason's a handful himself, to be fair. He'll keep coming, he'll keep giving it everything, but sometimes you've got to appreciate a bit of class, and we're seeing that tonight from Jangra. The lovely double hooks downstairs, the nice fluidity around his work. He's slipping into a rhythm. Right hand goes as well, and this is where he knows to turn it on. This last minute of the round, look, he's sitting in the pocket now. He's forcing Mason back. Very clever strategy, that.
I'm afraid, at the moment, and it may have longer term consequences for his career in terms of trying to launch a title.
This is one that's slipping away from Mason, I'm afraid, at the moment, and it may have longer term consequences for his career in terms of trying to launch a title bid. British title, Rhys Bellotti, other good men barring his way at the moment.
He's got a good name as well.
Yeah, and there's a good name you mentioned there, Rhys Bellotti. That would be a good fight for someone like Mandeep Jangra if he does come through this one. Bellotti's very explosive, he's got that sort of style, he's got a good name as well. Maybe they could look for someone like that. That would be very interesting.
It would indeed. And we're talking about
superstar if you can find one
what unleashing an Indian star in the US would mean. But what about Great Britain with a huge community?
Absolutely, listen, that's what I think he's a global, you know, there's an opportunity for a global superstar if you can find one from India. I was impressed the last time I seen him, I'm impressed here as well. But listen, never say never, because Marley Mason will still have that belief. He will still want to get victory here, but he's got 6 minutes to do it. Can he do it? I'm not sure he can. We haven't seen anything to suggest that, Paul. But stranger things have happened, that's for sure.
Pretty much every department against a really classy and skillful operator.
Positive mindset is absolutely paramount from here for Marley Mason, who's been chasing this job right from the start tonight. A beat behind in pretty much every department against a really classy and skillful operator who's on his A game tonight, with the great Roy Jones overseeing this performance in his corner, and he's beginning to do the bit of showboating here at the start of the 9th round.
Yeah. Just looks he's getting going, doesn't it? He's got a great engine as Mason, and like you say, when they start showboating like that, he's oozing confidence. The Roy Jones telling him to switch to the body now, let the body shots go.
Mason came into this tonight looking to box to victory.
They know each other inside out, Mandeep and Roy, and he does box to instructions.
Controversial ending to that one. Lost the Southern Area title bid against Louis O'Doherty.
Mason came into this tonight looking to box to victory. The frustrations of the Jeffafori fight. Controversial ending to that one. Lost the Southern Area title bid against Louis O'Doherty.
That when it comes to the really important nights,
couldn't go the 10 rounds. Reset comes back against Aaron Prospere, loses on points over 10 rounds, even though Prospere was down in the first round. There is a picture forming, I think, that when it comes to the really important nights, he's coming up short.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Paul. I think that we're always going to have entertainment from Marley. He's a character outside of the ring, and he shows a lot of character in the ring as well, but you know, when he's got to that final hurdle, he's always struggled to get over, and I don't think he's going to be any different tonight either.
Team UK captain, as well as my co-commentator here tonight. At no point have I seen...
The problem for me with this performance tonight, from Mason's point of view, Spencer, speaking to you, remembering you as the Team UK captain, as well as my co-commentator here tonight, At no point have I seen, forgive me, but I haven't seen it, that he's put in Mandeep Jangra's mind doubt. No, he's been measured for this job from early on tonight by his opponents. That's the problem, really.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. I mean, listen, credit to him because he's shown a lot of character and he hasn't given up hope and he's just kept pushing forward. But it's been a little too one-dimensional, and someone like Jenga, who's very, very slippery, you know, you can't do that. You've got to set the traps, you know, move your feet into range before throwing the shots, fake the jab downstairs, whip the right hand over the top, fake the right hand to the body, whip the left hook over the top. There has to be creative, throw your punches in bunches, all of that stuff that I'm talking about, and unfortunately we've not seen that from Marley Mason tonight.
At times in this ninth round, Mandeep Jangra's just put a bit more into some of these shots.
In the bag,
the passing thought that I might be able to stop my man here.
Mandeep Jangra, who for me racks up another round. He's got his head down in the corner. Well, just coming to the end of the ninth round, and it's another round in the bag. You know, he's not even choosing for the champ, Mandeep Jangra, who for me racks up another round. He's got his head down in the corner there, but Paul, you just sense that there's plenty left in that engine. You know, he's not even choosing to sit down at the moment. There's nice, cool, calm words coming in from the GOAT, Roy Jones Jr. And you look over to the other corner and you go, there's an air of desperation now. They've got to go for it here. Everything in the kitchen sink because it's the last roll. Just with his nose in front, just seems to be one move ahead all the time. And this is the action in that ninth round, Paul. I think it's been pretty similar to the first 8 of those as well, hasn't it? Where it's sort of like Jenga just with his nose in front, just seems to be one move ahead all the time. And that's been the difference between the two here.
This isn't just the last round of this fight for Marley Mason tonight. If he cannot turn this round, then it might come to be seen as a parting of the road in terms of the direction of his career.
Yeah, it's going to be, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board, that's for sure. It's not like it's not been done before, but it's going to be a tough road, it's a tough road back.
He's only 25 years of age. Yeah. The way they were talking to him in the corner, it was almost as if they were saying, now or never, son.
Listen, you look at those style of someone like Marley Mason, you go like a Derek Chisora comes to mind, where you go, he's not spurting, he fights Derek Chisora, he's been on the end of a lot of defeats in the past, but he's still packing stadiums still. And why? Because he's entertainment. He gives fans what they want to see. All the fans that are in here, paying customers, they're enjoying this because this kid's trying. He's pushing forward, and that's what it's all about. Entertainment. There's still a long way of Marley Mason's career to go, that's for sure.
You make a good point, but he is making it hard for himself, isn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's down to the quality of opposition.
What a story it would be longer term if he could find the way that Chisora did, and many others, and I'm sure the public would latch onto him in a major way. There's nothing wrong with the desire.
Doesn't look like it's coming, no Paul, does it?
But class is class.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree with that. We're nearly halfway through this 10th and final round, and Mason needs to find something from somewhere. Doesn't look like it's coming, no Paul, does it?
Not yet.
Yeah,
1 minute 30 to make me eat my words. He's persisting and persisting.
My words
that's
as well.
what I love about him. He's showing great character there, you know. I'm
what
trying to take some positives from this now as well. Yes, he's been beaten, and he's been beaten
really
quite convincingly, but he's showed a lot of character in there, hasn't he? Got to give him credit for that.
He's persisting and persisting.
Well, that's what I love about him. He's showing great character there, you know. I'm trying to take some positives from this now as well. Yes, he's been beaten, and he's been beaten quite convincingly, but he's showed a lot of character in there, hasn't he? Got to give him credit for that.
I do.
There's the W
every day, every time I see him.
Craving, that's what he's working for every day.
Yeah. And he hasn't given up hope for the whole
wants
10 rounds.
to hear.
It's been a frustrating night for Marley Mason. He's never been hurt. Never looked
There's
like
the W and his arm raised. That's what he's craving. That's what he's working for every day.
This contest. That's been the difference between these two.
And he hasn't given up hope for the whole 10 rounds. It's been a frustrating night for Marley Mason. He's never been hurt. Never looked like being hurt.
It's not easy.
But just one move behind the whole time through this contest. That's been the difference between these two.
W for willpower, not lacking, Mason. but winning at this level is not easy. 10 hard rounds against a potential world-class opponent with a great background. Marley, the crowd pleaser to the end.
Everything as he always does.
But I think resigned to his fate tonight. Mandeep Jangra gets the seal of approval from Roy Jones and his team in his corner. He gave it everything as he always does. Mason, he was looking on behalf of the team, of course, to extend Team UK's winning lead over Team USA. But it looks to me like Mandeep Jangra has narrowed the final score a little bit.
Right, Paul, I've got to go and jump in there with the chap, the GOAT, Roy Jones Jr. I think we're going to make the presentations now. So on that note, my friend, it's been an absolute pleasure. As always, the ultimate professional, best in the business, Paul Dempsey. Thank you very much.
You flatter me. This is your night, sir. You may find a message from the palace on Monday morning. Arise, Sir Spencer.
Please, sir.
Victory.
Please, sir.
Congratulations to Spencer Oliver, the captain of Team UK. The smiles are very broad at the end of it, despite the disappointment for Marley Mason in the 5th of the 5 matches in the Transatlantic Clash Mark II. We've had some real quality action. We've seen a couple of young fighters of immense potential announced on this card for, I think, for a new audience for the first time on TalkSport and Fight Zone.
Maybe a little closer than some would have seen. So there's a little crumb of comfort even in defeat tonight for Marley Mason. Roy Jones raises the arms of both.
Maybe a little closer than some would have seen. So there's a little crumb of comfort even in defeat tonight for Marley Mason. Roy Jones raises the arms of both.
Rings as mementos once more for all the fighters involved in the Transatlantic Clash Mark II. From Dennis Hobson and Steve Crump on behalf of the promoters, and that glorious
rings
trophy
as mementos once more
Dennis is now showing off
for all the fighters involved in the Transatlantic Clash Mark II. From Dennis Hobson and Steve Crump on behalf of the promoters, and that glorious looking trophy that Dennis is now showing off, the centrepiece of this great concept. Couldn't split them the last time, but here back in Great Britain, the trophy is going to belong, for the moment at least, to Team UK. And what an enthralling night of boxing action it has been here.
Dennis Hobson and Spencer Oliver with Steve Crump. Give us all a look, Dennis.
Dennis Hobson and Spencer Oliver.
I think we're all ready
with Steve Crump
for match number 3.
Give us all a look, Dennis. I think we're all ready, lined up for match number 3.
Enterprise shown by Dennis Hobson and his team, duly rewarded here. It takes a great deal of work to put a show like this together.
But the enterprise shown by Dennis Hobson and his team, duly rewarded here.
A quick recap from
it takes a great deal of work to put a show like this together.
Getting the USA off to a flyer at bantamweight.
But we'd like to thank everybody for the part that the whole team has played in putting this together. A quick recap from me to close it up from ringside. Morales getting the USA off to a flyer at bantamweight. but the lead didn't last long. Arnie Dawson, a spectacular showing from that young man at super lightweight. Dawson looks like a young man who can go a very long way indeed, and I know I'm saying that early in his career. An absolute thriller at cruiserweight, followed between Aram Ignat from Wembley and Stanley Johnson of the USA. Class all across the cruiserweight win for Lucas Rurik to win the occasion overall. And that super featherweight one back at the end for Team USA, Mandeep Jangra against Marley Mason. But a job well done by all, and it's been a privilege to be a part of this. From ringside, from me, Paul Dempsey, one last time, thank you everybody for watching tonight on Fight Zone and TalkSport. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
What a treat, a night of action, incredible fights from the bottom to the top of the card on TalkSport Network and Fight Zone delivery. USA versus UK. It's UK in the rematch of this transatlantic clash.
A night of action,
incredible fights from the bottom to the top of the card on TalkSport Network and Fight Zone delivery. Something USA versus what we've seen from Roy Jones Jr. at the height of his career throughout boxing. That comes nothing like in the final. The main event was a masterclass. We saw a display of talent, ability, something likening to what we've seen from Roy Jones Jr. at the height of his career and throughout boxing. There's nothing like having a man like you in the corner. Please, Mandeep Jangra taking on the final fight. Even though
Mandeep, you've had an incredible amateur career that you've brought that incredible skill set and experience and technical ability and adaptability to the pro ranks. Tell us, how difficult was that in there against Mandeep? You've had an incredible amateur career that you've brought that incredible skill set and experience and technical ability and adaptability to the pro ranks. Tell us, how difficult was that in there against Marley Mason tonight?
I tackled whatever coach told me. I'm working on that, and I will appreciate it.
You've got lots of flair, the way that you express yourself as a fighter. You look like you're enjoying yourself in there tonight as well.
I tackled whatever coach told me. I'm working on that, and I get it easy.
You've got lots of flair, the way that you express yourself as a fighter. You look like you're enjoying yourself in there tonight as well.
Yeah, definitely. Boxing is my passion, so obviously if I'm not enjoying, I never quit my boxing.
Well, you boxed all over as an amateur. You boxed in the Cayman Islands as well as a professional. Now in the UK as a professional. How has it been for you this week over here?
I hope whenever I'm going to enjoy the boxing ring, I never quit my boxing.
Well, you boxed all over as an amateur. You boxed in the Cayman Islands as well as a professional. Now in the UK as a professional. How has it been for you this week over here?
It's amazing, and I love good hospitality. Otherwise, you know, after and the promotion doing a great job, and my coach
You certainly can enjoy it. What's next for you then, Mandeep?
My best training over there, so I can enjoy now more London trip. Otherwise, you know, after lose, there's no chance to enjoy the trip. Now I can enjoy my.
You certainly can enjoy it. What's next for you then, Mandeep?
Yeah, my coach gonna decide whatever I go, whatever he says, let's go. I'm going to get the handy.
getting frustrated,
probably
heading
I'm
over
going
to
to
your
follow his
corner
step and
pushing.
Well, huge congratulations.
I saw the biggest
Really.
smile on your face and a laugh. Roy Jones Jr. smile.
It's almost like you admitted defeat.
We saw the opponent getting frustrated, heading over to your corner and pushing Mandeep. I saw the biggest smile on your face and a laugh. What were you thinking?
It's almost like you admitted defeat. When you get to, when you're that frustrated, you can't have your way. That's a sign that you're not having your way. But he's a very good game guy. He's going to come all night.
Defense tonight.
Yeah, what you guys enjoy. People understand that to be a great fighter, you got to be a great offensive fighter, a great defensive fighter, also a fighter who can turn defense into offense. That's what makes people like myself,
offense off of defense tonight.
Yeah, what people understand is that to be a great fighter, you got to be a great offensive fighter, a great defensive fighter, also a fighter who can turn defense into offense. That's what makes people like myself, James Holden,
the USA will be back. This is just the rematch, but the USA is not deeply so much well of talent. This is the guy you expertise. I want to be on ringside on the comms whenever possible. We need you back ringside. The USA will be back. This is just the rematch, but the USA is the UK deep well of talent in every fight. The battles and opponents who are not victorious tonight were able to show that they had heart. incredible platform. What an action-packed
But it's the UK who came through tonight.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back. Who knows what nation will be next? Radio Raheem Fight Zone is an incredible platform. What an action-packed night here at the Chelsea Football Club.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back. Who knows what nation will be next? Radio Raheem with Fight Zone at Talk Sports Network.
Congratulations, Spencer. I will be back.